solutions in order to cater to local-based problems. Daniel Wanjoki is joining me in studio. Thanks for your time and good morning. You're an innovator. I am curious, what exactly is EcoSave Africa, and what has it done in order to get recognition, not just locally, but internationally as well?
Thank you so much for inviting me. And this is a good opportunity to talk to our viewers who are very loyal. And I would like to say that EcoSave Africa is a local-based company that is domiciled. We work in the space of waste management, and we have solutions that have been accepted all over the world in terms of waste management. We have a product that gives waste another look. What you call waste can be turned into good use by just taking away bad smell, taking away the bad color, or what you see in wastewater, and the final product is clean water that can be used for greening the environment.
So let me get this right, Daniel. We can get wastewater using your product. We clean this wastewater, perhaps Nairobi River, for example. We clean this water to make it safe for human consumption. That's what EcoSave Africa is doing, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
We may not go for human consumption, but human use, because industries use water for cooling the machinery, even mixing in products. We use water for greening. We can use water for construction. This water that has been recycled has much more use, so that we only leave clean water from the Kaine or Sasumua Dam to be used in the kitchen and maybe in the sink for drinking, but not for other mundane uses like cleaning your vehicle, cabro areas, and gardening.
Okay, I get this. And you're painting an ideal scenario. I guess the next question would be, how have you been able to do this? What product do you have as EcoSave Africa that you've actually offered the Kenyan market or the international market, and you're getting such feedback from the clients? Well, what product is this?
There's a product we put together. It's called EcoTreat Waste Digester. It is actually a bacteria captured from the soil, your normal soil, your garden soil. You can harvest one bacteria which, using very elaborate systems of isolation and multiplication. We have multiplied it to a volume of about 1 kg. I can sell you a bacteria culture 1 kg. I can say that in Kenya, or almost over the world, they keep bacteria in small vials, like the test tubes. But we have been able to grow bacteria where I can be able to dispatch a whole ton of, that's 1,000 kgs, which can be introduced into waste. And what this bacteria does is it breaks down waste in such a soft way that it does not generate any pollutants. By saying pollutants, I mean many waste management processes generate methane gas. And unless you are capturing that methane gas for use in terms of where you say biogas for cooking and warming the room, if you are not using it, if it escapes to the environment, it is what is being condemned for global warming. And methane gas itself has 27 or 35, between 27 and 35% or times more. That's 35 times more than carbon dioxide in terms of global warming potential. So if you eliminated methane gas from waste decomposition, you have actually saved the world from further increase in temperature, global warming, and climate change.
Okay, that's interesting. So what informed the need to manage waste, especially in the country, and when did this idea came to fruition? When did this idea actually materialize?
Thank you. Around 2006, I lived as part of Kitengela, where my neighbor was a slaughterhouse. And every weekend, the place was unlivable. You could not live in that place, and I was forced to take my family out for weekends outing so that we avoid the bad smell. Then I just asked, I can afford it. What about those who can't afford to do that? And although I was constructing my own house, I thought I need to do something about the waste, the way waste is managed. And being a microbiologist, my background is microbiologist and biochemistry. I started tinkering with the different microorganisms and to see which could work to reduce bad odor. My aim was only to reduce bad odor. But as magic happens, I noticed that besides eliminating bad odor, I was actually eliminating the whole stuff. All the waste was being eliminated. And this was a slaughterhouse, which means I could digest a whole cow, a whole goat, that could have been condemned for maybe reaching the slaughterhouse dead or being found deceased with something that cannot be allowed to go to the public. And so that is how I actually got into waste management. It was by accident, by sheer luck, I got the right product, and I have developed this. In around 2007, I had to go do a master's course in Egerton to prove that what I'm saying is practical, because the world did not really take very well the activity of multiplying bacteria. Most of us had been told that bacteria are bad, should kill them with the biggest gun you can, look for the most harsh chemical kill bacteria, and so that you can live safely. But we realized that we can actually live with bacteria as one of our agents to help us manage waste.
So it's a natural solution in every way, shape, and form. So can it be applied in industrial scale in an instance where we have polluted rivers in the country? Where can this EcoTreat water digester come and help us perhaps with our large-scale problems when it comes to sanitation, perhaps in the capital city, Nairobi, for instance?
Thank you. Around 2009, again, the former Minister for Environment, late Mr. John Michuki, heard about our product, and that time is when he was cracking down on slaughterhouses around Dagoretti, Kiserian, and Kitengela. The same slaughterhouse had worked to make the product. Actually became my first customer by force. Never pushed me into it. I had to sign contracts with them. We started managing waste in the slaughterhouse under the minister's directive. And that's how my product got in the market. And we never had a break of saying, well, now we are launching the product. It was actually first in the market. And since that time, we manage slaughterhouses all around the country. We sell our product in countries outside East Africa. We have agents who distribute our product. We have countries that actually call us just to train their industries. Here locally, we actually, last year, we helped clean up the Michuki Park. I think it's not by coincidence that we actually cleaned up that river that passes through Museum Hill into Michuki Park, down to Group Cinema. We actually introduced our product, created a very nice environment that has lasted up to today, that we are able actually to clean a river. That is our first in the world. The other one is that from my work, the United Nations and the Rotary International appointed me as a lead agent in cleaning Nairobi River and the River Malewa in Naivasha. This is maybe coincidental, but actually I happen to have the solution that would clean up the river. So we're actually cleaning up Nairobi River from Gong all the way to Mombasa, from to Sabaki in Kirifi. And this is practical. We have the product, we have the technology, and we are going for it.
What's the progress so far, perhaps in terms of cleaning Nairobi River? Because one would ask the longevity in terms of this water digester. How long does it last, bearing in mind that so much effluent flows in daily into the Nairobi River? So it might be counterproductive, if you get me. Yeah, talk to us.
Indeed, when we are doing river cleaning, we don't go into the river. We actually look for polluting points where pollution comes from. If you're thinking of Kibera, where does wastewater come from before it enters Bagathi River? If you're thinking of Nairobi River, the one that passes behind Group Cinema, we don't go to the river. You go to the estates upriver in Kiririshwa, in Waithaka, in Dagoretti, in Kikuyu. You identify points where waste is being released into the river, and that's when you address from there. What comes from those tributaries or those channels that have been created is clean water that actually doesn't pollute the river. So the river becomes cleaner by you not allowing waste to get into the river. And actually, in this month, on 19th of this month is the World Cleanup Day, and ourselves, EcoSave Africa, are clubs that are associated, that is Rotary clubs that are associated with us. The county government of Nairobi, Kajiado, and Machakos will be carrying out a cleanup of the river activity allowed at the river. So this is something that is already on the track. It's going to happen, and we recall this activity of cleaning the river every other month to ensure that the river remains clean, and that people using the water downstream, downriver, will be able to benefit from that the clean water. We remember the president recently talking about Thoke Dam, which has it's an 8 billion project, but has a list of being condemned for having dirty water that cannot be used for either agriculture or farming or even drinking because of corporation. But fortunately, this activity of cleaning up the river and making sure that wastewater does not get into the river is going to make sure that that dam is able to generate its value.
Okay. And then that's really proper. I'd beg to ask, so implementation is actually proper. We shouldn't be counterproductive. As you're identifying the sources of this effluent flowing into the river, are you working with the likes of NEMA to perhaps highlight that this is the, a main contributor to the sewage system in the river, and perhaps shut this company down, such directives, so we make sure that your work is not just counterproductive?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
EcoSave Africa and NEMA work very close, hand in hand, and whenever NEMA identifies a pollution point or a pollutant or a source of waste, nuisance, we call them nuisance, they normally call me to go and help out in establishing a better system, both as in my personal capacity as EcoSave and as my partners at Rotary. We actually move in and help organizations put in place better systems. So I would say I'm working closely with the county government of Nairobi through the CEC, Mr. Rare Wambua. I'm working with the government itself, the Ministry of Environment. It's the Ministry of Environment that invited me to Michuki Park to do the cleanup last year.
All right.
So we actually working together with the Warma. Okay. We actually working on getting a curriculum that will help our future artisans make the best out of waste management so as to reduce pollution. Okay,
Daniel, this is a first of many, and if I got you correctly, it's the first microorganism-based organic detergent, not just in Kenya, but the world over. So in terms of your international markets, because at times, not everyone believes in locally based solutions. We wait for the Western countries to perhaps come up with certain innovations, and then we're so quick to jump on them without producing our own locally based solutions. Perhaps the vaccines, for example, with African countries trying to clamor and get vaccines from the donor countries in the West and all that. When it comes to international markets, are you facing a challenge in terms of the perception that, a third world country shouldn't be able to perhaps perceive such a momentous innovation that will change sanitation management across the globe?
Thank you. Interestingly, it's true that we've had it easier going to other countries than actually establishing ourselves here locally.
Oh, wow.
I remember we supplied to embassies of one of the Americas here in Kenya, and they were using that product for several other sites around the world. So we've cracked that. We've got an international accreditation. We have also been voted to, our innovation was voted by the Ministry of Water here in Kenya through the Ministry of Sanitation, Water, Sanitation and Irrigation. In 2019, we were voted to have the most outstanding innovation in the international category for the product eco-treat waste digester. We bet other countries. There are more than 67 countries participating, and nationalities were there. And that is when the world actually realized that we had a product that had special features, because when we explained to the judges, they actually acknowledged that our product was beyond what had been carried around in the world. And that is something we are proud of. I would also like to say that the Kenyan government has put us on an acceleration system, an incubation system through the Kenya Climate Change Innovation Center, and that is at Strathmore. We are the 2020-2021 CAHOOTS and our company has been taken through that process of how to multiply the product to make it available to our local markets. And of course, if we get local markets and the government support, even the other countries will become more confident. Like I have letters from NEMA Uganda, NEMSC in Tanzania, who have actually called us to help them sort out waste management within their systems. We have trained many organizations outside East Africa, including some of the biggest organizations actually accept that our product actually is a game changer in that we eliminate methane gas formation.
Okay, speaking of this product, what exactly can you tell us about the product? Because you mentioned it's a microorganism-based organic detergent, and I know there are a couple of rights on what you can say, what you can't say, but at the end of the day, I'm sure viewers are interested. How exactly is bacteria breaking down all this in terms of methane gas, eliminating odor, making this water safe to use, not just for drinking or necessarily for drinking, but other value addition functions as well? How exactly does this product work?
Thank you. We had actually identified a bacteria that was safe to use in terms of handling. Even if it got into a body system, would it be pathogenic? This one is not pathogenic. If you inhaled it, it will not have any problem with your lungs. And by so eliminating other bad factors from the system, we actually ended up with a very easy product to work with. Just like your yogurt bacteria. When you take yogurt, you actually are taking billions and billions of bacteria cells, but it doesn't strike you that there could be bacteria in yogurt, but it's true. Okay. Coming back to whether it's possible for something so great to come from Africa. Actually, the most versatile beer-making product, yeast called Saccharomyces pombe, is made, even the name tells you. It is harvested from our gourds, the one that we used to make monatina with. Okay. And that is what brewers all over the world use to make all types of beers. So it's not the first time that something coming from East Africa or Africa that has a life-changing or global impact. When you think of your jeans, when you want to make your jeans bleached, look like you've been wearing for long, the product that is used to make that is harvested from Lake Bogoria here in Barigo County, and that has been multiplied so that other industries are now using that to bleach your jeans. So it's something from Africa, and it's quite perfect. Okay. Even coming to think of vaccine or antibodies, the first human use of antibiotics was in Africa, North Africa, where the Bedouins used to, when they had a diarrhea, they would take the droppings from a camel and take it when it's still warm, and it will clear their diarrhea. Oh. So, and that is what created many companies like the pharmaceutical companies actually use that now to say, oh, so we can get bacteria to actually cure us for other diseases. Right. And that is one of the impacts that Africa will have on the world. Well,
this is proper, made in Africa for Africa. Anyway, Daniel, as we finalize, I think with such a product accessing the local market, it will have an impact, a positive impact on the lives of people, especially when it comes to sanitation management in the country. Is there an enabling environment as it is, or what needs to be done in order for such innovations or similar ones to break through and also, make profit at the end of the day? Because these are businesses. As much as you want to impact the population, you equally want to make money at the end of the day and stay afloat. So is there an enabling environment? What needs to be done to perhaps promote innovations such as this that are made locally and perhaps can even have a reach internationally? What's your take on this?
Thank you so much for that question. It is true that innovators in Africa have to go a bit further than the innovators in the Western world, because unlike the Western world, where the shape of a helicopter blade, just changing the angle of cutting the air to give you a patent, here in Africa, you have to make the helicopter fly. You have to start with a motorcycle engine, make the rotors yourself, make the landing gear, and do the whole thing. For you to be recognized as an innovator, you have to do the whole hog. You know, it's organic. A whole organic system must be what you can go and say, I'm patenting. So and even when you go to patent, it's interesting that if you go with a baby to whoever is registering the patents, they will have to ask all the other women in the world whether they have lost their baby, so that your baby does not get registered as yours, yet it could be someone else.
Okay.
Other countries, when you come up with the idea,